I've had a lot of family members come to us and place their resident with us, and they had these untold expectations or that
Yeah.
we're going to fix their family member.
Silent
Um,
contract. It's called a silent
yeah,
contract. Yeah.
exactly. Oh, they came to us not walking. Why are they not walking within three? Or things like that. And so it was really what I've learned is if that loved one is on PT with home health, you need to be really good working hand in hand with that home health agency, that PT person that's coming and taking care of them, because and you need to have a really good stream of communication with the PT, yourself, and family. And you need to be telling that family member everything and showing them that, hey, we are doing every single thing we can, document everything, write everything down.
Welcome to the RAL Room Assisted Living Podcast with your hosts, Charlie Cameron and Alex Schlow. This is your go-to show for cutting-edge insights from industry leaders in residential assisted living.
Whether you're ready to launch your own assisted living business or looking to invest in this fast-growing, high-impact sector, we are here to equip you with the tools, strategies, and confidence you need to succeed. Get ready to ride the silver tsunami and change the future of senior care. Now on to today's show.
Welcome back to today's episode of the RAL Room Assisted Living Podcast. I'm your host, Charlie Cameron, and today we are thrilled to have Christian Fisher with us from California. Christian, please give us a brief introduction to you and where you're at right now in your assisted living journey.
Yeah, and Charles, I just want to say I appreciate you having me on, and it's awesome that you're doing this. Yeah, a little bit about myself. I'm an administrator for a 6-bed assisted living facility in California. Right now, I'm the operator of that home. I do everything, and in the process of trying to acquire multiple assisted living facilities or one, bouncing back and forth from that idea right now.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
So you are the administrator. Do you own the home or are you just administrating it?
No, my mother-in-law still owns it, and I run that business.
Okay. So before we go deep into how you ended up in that exact position, tell me how you got started. You were a CNA beforehand. So give us a little bit of a picture of what you were doing in that line of work and how it transitioned to assisted living.
Yeah, so dang, I guess it's almost 5 years ago. Time flies by, but
Wow.
I got my CNA license almost 5 years ago, and I was working for a registry company all over California, hospitals, skilled nursing facilities, TCUs, anything you name it. I was just working a bunch, and got a lot of good experience for hands-on care for the elderly. And then my mother-in-law, she's owned this RCFE for over 18 years. And I didn't even really know what it was. I knew she owned some sort of care home, but I didn't really know what it was. And then she was going to shut it down. And I stepped in and I was like, hey, let me try to run it for 6 months. She was already moved into one of the rooms. She got all the residents out but two of them. And I was like, let me just try to run it for 2 months. I'll cover all the bills. I'll do everything. Let me see if I can figure out what's going on. And I stepped into it and just realized there was just a bunch of stuff she wasn't doing right. And long story short, we've been running it almost 3 years now, and we've been full 95% occupancy ever since. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. And is that your full-time thing now, or do you do both still?
No, that's my full-time thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
were
Yeah.
able to
I quit
leave your
CNA.
job
Yeah.
by administering a 6-bed RCFE in California.
Yeah. I was making anywhere from 26 to 32 an hour as a CNA, overtime after 8. Pay was good, but yeah, it's really changed our lives, me and my wife's lives.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
amazing. Okay, so what did your mother-in-law say when you were like, "Hey, let me give this a shot. I'm gonna pay for everything"?
I think she was a little in disbelief. I know, of course, every mom's gonna say she believes in you, but I don't think she really thought that we could do it. We didn't really know what we were getting into. But I have a associate's degree in business, and then both my parents own their own companies. And so I'm just from a household of business owners, and it just comes naturally to me. And when I stepped into it, she was charging under market rates, didn't have the best staff in there, and it was just all over the place. She didn't know where anything was at. And so I stepped in, and me and my wife made systems and processes for everything, turned everything online, got really good staff, competent staff in there. And it's just, I'm super hands on. I'm there Monday through Sunday, every single day, super hands on. And it's just, we've really created a good atmosphere in the home.
Dude, that's awesome. It really does sound like you and your wife had the perfect set of skills at the right time to come in and do this. Most people in your position wouldn't take the action. Do you think is there something that made you decide, hey, we're going to give this a shot? What was the reason you actually went into action to make this happen?
I'll go back a little bit too. Before I became a CNA, I was teaching jiu-jitsu for 9 years, and I was like, I didn't really want to turn that into a career just for other reasons. And so then I was like, we were going to go get our CNA cert to go do travel contracts around the United States because they were paying so well. But by the time we got our CNA cert, the travel contracts they weren't giving out them anymore. And so then we're like, oh crap. So then we started working around California, and I was like, man, there's no way I'm going to be a CNA forever. Like, I just can't see myself doing this forever. And then when I heard her mom was shutting me down, I was like, what else can I lose? I was like, I can't, I can't lose. I'm not going to lose anything. It's 6 months. And then for about 4 months, we weren't making any money at the home. I was working day shift at the facility, and then I'd go work at registry at my local hospital and work night shift as a CNA. So I was doing both, and I would get off shift at 6 a.m. and go right to the facility and work all day. And then I would do that. I was working a lot for about 4 months, and then it just had a turning point. We got full, and I was like, oh dang, this is like life changing. So then I quit my CNA job, and yeah, it just thank God it worked out.
Yeah. You were willing to burn the ships and do what was required to get it off the ground, which is inspirational, really.
Mhm.
So tell me how you went from 2 residents and it was fizzling out and shutting down to full and 95% occupancy from then on.
Mhm. Yeah, I think the biggest thing is constantly getting out into the community. My mother-in-law, she's ran it for, it's probably over 20 years now, but I just always say 18 years. She was just overworked in it. So she stepped back and wasn't going out into the community, wasn't making those new relations. This business is always changing. There's people always coming in and out. And me, I'm young, I'm 25, so I have the fire, the hard work in me. So the biggest thing was going out into the community, going to your local chamber of commerce, making relationships with the discharge planners and the social media directors for all the big facilities, and just making those relationships that we are there and we provide very good care. Especially my background as a CNA, my wife's background as a CNA, my mother-in-law, she still works as a nurse. And we just provide this really good care that not a lot of other places bring. And so I think the biggest thing for people is create a really good product first, and then do as much work as you can to get out into the community and show people that you're there. So when people think of a smaller setting for their family, you should be on their list. You should be one of the top people they want to go to, or even the placement workers that find homes for the elderly. You should be one of the number one people on their list so they could take people to come tour your homes.
I hear it time and again, and I'm going to foot stomp it. Be a great home and take care of your
Yeah.
residents well. And,
Yep.
and the rest takes care of itself. Do you think that having so many family members involved in healthcare, did that give you an advantage in terms of networking?
It did. My mother-in-law, she's still somewhat involved. It's very little, but she's still involved. She still works as a nurse at skilled facilities, and her networking in those facilities really brings residents over to our home. That's where we get a lot of our clientele. We only have one placement worker in town, and she does a phenomenal job, but there's only one lady. If you have a bad reputation with her, you're probably not doing great in town. But yeah, no, it really has. Even her background in nursing has really helped us understand medication management, what meds are. We go above and beyond for wound care and all sorts of things that other places can't really provide.
Let's dig into that for a little bit. What do you mean by going above and beyond on wound care? And are there any other things you'd like to just openly brag about? Tell us what makes your home so great and sets it a bar above other RCFEs.
Yeah, I've been around a huge variety of residents and patients in hospitals, and so is my mother-in-law. And we don't get scared of taking on residents that have wounds or bed sores, or it doesn't matter the grade they are. We will heal all of them. Every person we've gotten with a bed sore, we do heal them because we know how to properly care for them. We've taken residents on with catheters or suprapubic catheters. That's a skilled nurse who needs a suprapubic catheter, but we know how to care for that person and do the wound care on that. And we work hand in hand with home health agencies, nurses, and stuff like that. And so we're not scared of certain things that I know a lot of other facilities might say no to.
That's interesting. And do you provide those services as CNAs yourselves, or do you do that or do you hire that out?
The wound care and stuff.
Yes.
We do bring in home health agencies, but a lot of the times they're only coming once, twice a week, depending. I guess you could say we're using our CNA license and stuff, but yeah, we do take care of a lot of that stuff ourselves.
Okay. Okay, so you filled all the beds through networking, essentially.
Yeah, pretty much. Creating a really good relationship with the placement agent, like worker in town. She was getting the drift that the home was getting shut down. And it's my mother-in-law ran it for 20 years. She was burnt out. So that was the stigma on that home, especially with that placement worker. And then when she realized, oh, there's new management. Oh wow, her son-in-law and her daughter are taking it over, and they're young, they got this fire in them, and I'm joining all these committee boards and Chamber of Commerce and the Alzheimer's committee and all these other things. And I'm just so involved in the community that it's really made her happy. Now she's just like bringing residents to us.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Networking is so valuable. So
It's
valuable.
it's one of the biggest skills.
Yep.
It's the number one important thing.
100%.
Yeah.
So what was the most surprising challenge you faced when taking over the home?
Oh man, the most surprising challenge, I would say there's two challenges that I didn't really think about. And the first one was hiring and trying to find good staff. Because in the beginning, it was me and my wife were pretty much working all of it because we had no money to pay anybody. And then once we were starting to get full and getting residents, and we got to staff some of these shifts out. So trying to find really good caregivers was a really, I've never hired anybody before.
Yeah. It's
And
a
so,
challenge everywhere. Yeah.
yeah, a challenge everywhere. And the biggest thing I found is a lot of caregivers, they when I would be interviewing these caregivers, a lot of them would seem a little burnt out. And so then when I'm doing like the on-person training, I would really try to implement like them taking lead on the training and see what they picked up, or if I kind of have to hold their hand through the training and see how much initiative they had. And then also, I really found that hiring CNAs was really good. But CNAs that give good patient care. There's a lot of CNAs that are burnt out as well. But we really try to stick with CNAs. Sure, the pay is a little lower, but if you think about the volume of work they're coming down from, it's way better. You know what I mean? They're taking care of 10 plus residents every day, numerous showers. They come to us and we're 6 residents max, and half of them are independent. So the quality of care they can provide and the environment they're in is so much better.
Yeah. So much less burnout.
Yeah, huge less burnout, guaranteed. And then the second thing that was surprising to me is, dealing with family. I've never had to deal with other loved ones' family before that are in charge of this resident. And having the ability to create boundaries and expectations with these family members was really new to me.
Yeah. Can you give some examples of some boundaries or expectations that came up?
I've had a lot of family members come to us and place their resident with us, and they have these untold expectations or that
Yeah.
we're going to fix their family member.
Silent contract. It's called a silent contract. Yeah.
Exactly. Oh, they came to us not walking. Why are they not walking within 3? Or things like that. And so it was really what I've learned is if that loved one is on PT with home health, you need to be really good working hand in hand with that home health agency, that PT person that's coming and taking care of them, and you need to have a really good stream of communication with the PT, yourself, and family. And you need to be telling that family member everything and showing them that, hey, we are doing every single thing we can, document everything, write everything down, because if you don't, you're just speaking words, right? They're going to want to see proof. And having that flow of communication with the family and also creating trust with the family. And I've learned that if you keep that flow of communication open, you're always creating trust.
Yeah. Yeah. The communication is essential. My time in the military, usually no communication meant something was wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you need to be hearing positive feedback. Even if you're doing everything right, you need to be hearing the trust, but verify. And so that's the way you verify to that family that you can be trusted by continuously communicating and pushing information to them about their loved one. That's what they want. Man, that's such great advice.
Even if you're not really updating them about how they're doing. A lot of times residents, it's the same day, same week every time. But every Friday, send them a photo of their loved one. Let them know they're okay. update them on what they did. A lot of times operators or administrators, they just go silent with family, and keeping them involved as much as you can and as much as they want to be. I have some family members that don't want to be involved as well.
Dude, I love that. Friday photo day.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing. Every Friday, I either send a text about how they're doing or I send a photo with me and their loved one. It's not just the loved one.
Oh, dude, that's special. That's special. Okay, I just want to ask another question about staff. How did you find your first few CNAs to work for you? And okay, let me start there. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yes. Honestly, we just posted on Indeed and a couple other things. My wife handles a lot of that. She's really good on that, posting and all the online stuff. She's really good at that stuff. So she posted a job listing for us, and we got over 100 applicants
Holy
looking to work for us, and a lot of them were CNAs. And just because they know they're overworked and they don't want to be in that environment anymore. When I was a CNA, when I first started working, I was like, there's no way this is it. If you need care, this is where you go. I was like, there has to be something different. And that's why I'm really happy I found this, and my mother-in-law was running it. But yeah, we just posted a job listing, and we got a lot of CNAs that applied. And one of the main things I was looking for in those applicants is it was mainly off of feeling, but how burnt out are they? Where's their heart at to take care of these people? Like, why are they leaving their other job? Are they leaving their other job because, they're just burnt out? Because then they might just get burnt out at your place. Where's their heart at?
Sorry to interrupt this episode, but if you're listening to this, then you're already an action taker. And that means you are exactly who we built the RAL Room Assisted Living Mastermind for. If you're ready to unlock financial freedom by launching your own residential assisted living home, our community of like-minded entrepreneurs and industry experts will give you the exact steps to make that happen. From licensing to acquiring a home to funding your home to scaling to dozens of homes, we've got you covered. We don't just offer guidance, we provide you with the roadmap, the resources, and the launch pad for your success. And the best part? The investment in yourself today will pay you back many times over, giving you freedom, fulfillment, and financial success in the most incredibly rewarding opportunity in real estate. Ready to dive in? Check out theralroom.com and join us today. That's the RALroom.com. Hope to see you soon. Now back to the episode.
Where's their heart at in this industry kind of thing.
Did you learn any lessons? Did you have any people you had to fire or that left? What did you learn from those first few hires?
Oh yeah, the first person I hired was actually a family member, and she was a caregiver for years. And I hired her thinking, I was like, I don't got anybody, and this is an easy hire, a family member. And I'll tell you, do not hire family. Do not hire family. It's a really hard thing to separate hierarchy, boss, and family position. It's really hard. And when you're bringing issues to them, they can never unsee you as a family member. And also, when you're hiring somebody, what is their ability like to take criticism? And not just criticism, constructive criticism. Can they take that? And what I see in a lot of caregivers and even CNAs is they have really bad habits. They've been doing this for 5, 10, 15 plus years, taking care of people, but they have horrible habits. Can you break those habits? If you can't, I'm sorry, I wouldn't hire them. I wouldn't spend the money to hire them.
Yeah, because you're just going to be wasting your time.
Yeah, you're just going to be wasting your time. It's going to give you more stress in the future. And then also somebody that can take initiative, that has the leadership qualities, because when you're the caregiver at these homes, you're in charge. I'm not there 24/7 watching over you. There's no one there. Like, you're in charge. These 6 residents are looking at you. If they fall, you need to know what to do. You need to be able to think critically. Family members are showing up and asking questions. You need to be able to know what's going on and take that leadership role while you're there.
That's good.
Because, as a CNA, you have nurses, you have the administrative staff there. You have these people that you can fall on and ask these questions, where it's like, I can't be by your side and hip all day at the home. You need to be able to take on that role.
Yeah, especially if you get multiple homes, then you'll have
Exactly.
to bounce around, right?
Exactly.
Do you have a more refined process now? Any big takeaways as to how you hire better?
I would say it's hard in the initial process because you're just meeting with them face to face, talking over coffee, reading their resume. And I'd say if they seem like they're a good fit, they have a good attitude, they're really excited, you can tell they love their job, then I normally go through with the second process, and that's about a week of on-site training. And I really watch them as they get their on-site training. They're shadowing me at the home, but I'm really trying to see what they're taking lead in and how they are interacting with the residents. How are they acting with the dementia residents and how do they handle them? Sure, they say they have experience, but like I said, do they have bad habits? And then when I see those bad habits, if I go to critique them on it, how are they, I look at their face, how are they actually taking that constructive criticism? You have to be very mindful of those things because people will say anything to get the job. They really will. And they'll, even deep down in the back of their head, they know it's not going to work out, but they want the job and they'll say anything they can.
That's crazy,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah, it's really weird.
Okay, so let me ask a more technical question. Are you leasing the home from your mother-in-law then?
We do a no. No. So we do a profit. I'm like
Okay.
phantom equity, basically.
Like a profit split kind of thing?
Yeah, profit split. She's still involved on some of the decision making and throughout the house a little bit, but I run it 100% of the time. But yeah, we do a profit split.
See, this is cool because we talk about a lot of different models in our mastermind and on this podcast. We talk about how you can lease a home and start your business, or you could buy the business, or you could buy the home and the business, but you're doing it a different way, which you got started as an admin and now you're doing a profit share with basically the previous owner who's still
Yeah.
involved. So you stepped in as another owner and you're making it work, which is such a cool way to get started because it didn't require a bunch of equity to buy a house. It didn't require a bunch of equity to buy the business. And now you're rolling. So I think that's super cool. And for our listeners, guys, there's always another cool way to get into this. You never say never. There's no dead ends. There's always a way to make it happen, which I think is so cool.
And also too, I wanted to mention, because I know this is at least it's a bigger issue in my area here in Northern California, is it's with existing operators and RCFE owners that have been in it 10 plus years. What I'm seeing a lot is the market rates are never really going up with inflation. And so a lot of homes in the area are charging these under market rates and they're doing a lot of the work themselves, but they're getting burnt out. And when you're not charging the correct rates, you're taking away from your staff, you're taking away from the residents, you're taking away from updating the house and keeping it looking nice. And then you're hurting the market for everybody else. And so what I see a lot is people not charging the correct rates.
Dude, Christian, I'm glad you said that. And we preach this all the time in our mastermind. Is like you usually we say you have to have the right number of beds because in most other states it's more beds and the rates are lower. Yeah. But same, right? You want to have enough income, whether that's rate driven, bed driven, so that you can operate a fantastic business. Because what you don't want to have happen is, a resident left or a resident passed away, and now all of a sudden you're negative cash flow for a month, 2 months, 3 months. Now you have to cut corners. Now you have to fire staff. Now you have to come in and work harder, and now you're getting burnt out. And how is the care going for your residents in that scenario?
Yeah.
Not great. You're not updating the house. You're not doing the maintenance. It's becoming an unsafe environment. People get hung up on this. I shouldn't charge more. No, you should do what's required to operate a fantastic business and in a great care home. And that's just what's necessary. And the better you can pay your staff, the better care they'll provide. It works in a cyclical way positively or works in a cyclical way negatively. You get to choose.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I think also too, to give some more advice is when you're new people that are getting into this industry, underwrite your deal. Don't just think of this awesome, look at this awesome home, it's going to be great. It's 5 bedrooms or it's 6 bedrooms or whatever. And you get into it and you're like, I'm going to charge $4,000 a month because that's so much money. It's like, it's probably too low. But underwrite the deal, underwrite everything, and then see what you have to charge for how much money you want to make that makes sense for you. And I see a lot of people don't do that. They get super excited and they get into these deals and I'm not making any money. And also what I've realized the past couple of months is find out who I don't like to say this word, but find out who you're competing with. What type of style house do you have? What I see the industry changing a lot is it's turning into these boutique homes. If you look at like my buddy Serge or Ramon, or these people that they have these boutique homes and there's these young guys and entrepreneurs that are getting into this industry. They're opening up these smaller boutique homes like the big boxes but they have the care and they have the look, right? And yeah, I think that is one way I see the industry going. It's turning more into really boutique style homes too.
Yeah, I agree with you, and 100% agree that you have to be smart about understanding the deal and analyzing the deal. We found that to be a big kind of weak point as well, which is why we built out a whole like calculator suite, because there's folks out there preaching, oh, you need to do it exactly like this. And it's no two deals are the same. And every
Hmm.
state's different and every locality is different. And so you have to take each and every one and look at it independently and
Yeah.
understand, is that going to be a good deal or not? Can it become a good deal or not? Where is the break even point? Because you're going to be
Yep.
negative for the first few months, most likely.
Yep.
And yeah, you're 100% right. People should not just be jumping in. They need to understand how to analyze a deal and see if it's going to work for them.
Yeah.
What's on that note? Maybe this is the biggest mistake, but what's the
Mhm.
biggest mistake new assisted living operators make, and how could they avoid it?
Well, I see, 'cause I'm young and I'm still new to this space, but I'm always coming into every situation wanting to learn. And I see a lot of operators and administrators, existing ones that are stuck in their ways, that they've been doing it 5 plus years, 10 plus years, and they don't want to change. They're not going into these situations or just situations with an open mind to learn because they've been doing it so long. And I would say that's one big thing that I see a lot of operators do.
Yeah, getting stuck in ways instead of thinking new. There's new
Mhm.
technology coming out that you can integrate into homes. There's so
Yep.
many cool things you can do now to provide better care.
Yeah, 100%.
So, Christian, I know you're not going to stop at 6 beds. So, tell me a little bit about your plan. When would you like to expand? What would you like to do next? What are you thinking?
Yeah, so right now, actually, 4 residential assisted living facilities in my town actually are coming up for sale. And I'm trying to get the information, trying to underwrite the deal, trying to make it make sense. And if that doesn't work out, I'll either be opening up my own 6 bed here in town, and it's going to be more of a boutique home, really nice home, trying to have all private bedrooms, private baths. I want to charge those rates.
Mm,
And then my long-term goal is I want to open up a 12-bed home here in California. But as I don't know for have to have over 6 beds in California, you have to be on commercial property, and so that's one of my setbacks.
Can't you get a conditional use approved and
Permit,
expand it? But yes, then the code has to become commercial for that home.
yeah, and it's I've been back and forth with the city on this for a long time, and a lot of them don't know. And that's what I've kind of learned. If they don't know,
Yep.
and they always tell me, "Hey, I'll call you back," and you never get a call back. But it's really hard to get that zoning changed in a residential neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
It's really hard. I'm still pushing for it. Our county actually used to have, you could have 7 beds with a residential home, but then they changed it. I'm trying to get on the board and I'm wanting to get that changed. It's one of my big goals this year is to get that changed back. And I think a lot of things are changed with no reason. And so it's one of my big things. But yeah, my long-term goal is to have a 12-bed residential assisted living facility home.
Sweet. I'm
Yeah.
going to connect you with my friend Sally after this because
Yeah, please.
she's been successfully able to get some expansion approvals. So
Oh,
maybe
wow.
she has some hot tips for you she could share, and she's great. She'd be happy to do that.
Yeah, that's
Um,
awesome. Thank you.
so that 4 home package, are you trying to buy that entire thing at once?
Yeah, I am. I am. Yeah. So I'm trying to bring on investors or partners, and I'm really just trying to make the numbers work. Right now, it's hard. So with real estate costs in California, as you can tell,
Oh goodness. Yeah.
it's really hard.
Yeah. What's the
Um,
cost of one of these homes? What's the average?
for like 600,000
Okay.
to 750.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah. And they're around 20. They're all over 2,300 square feet, 5 bedrooms, 4 bath. Yeah.
Yeah. So you just need a cool 3 mil or so.
Oh, yeah. That's it.
No
Yeah.
big. Yeah.
And like a 20% down, still like over $500,000. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a
So
lift.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a lot. It's a big goal of mine. That would jumpstart me right away. And so I'm really trying to make those numbers work. But if they don't, I'm still always moving forward.
There's always a way, and there's always more deals.
Yeah. There's always deals.
If the numbers are good, it'll be easy to get money for it, but there's
Yeah.
always more deals, whether you make those happen or whether they pop back up. So that's
And what
just
I would
part of the game.
what what I would tell a lot of new administrators getting into this industry is go get experience. Go get experience taking care of residents. You're going to have such a one up on everybody if you know what you're doing. I couldn't imagine being an administrator for one of these homes and not knowing how to care for a resident and trusting my caregivers. And I couldn't do it. It would be too stressful. And then also another thing is a lot of these homes that are up and running, these administrators are burnt out. These owners are burnt out. They've been doing it forever and they're not keeping up with inflation. They're not upping the rates and they don't know why. They're having a hard time covering the bills or paying staff. And so I think if the situation I was in, if you can position yourself and reach out to these owners, these operators, and offer them a good deal that makes sense, do it. I would reach out to every single person within a 100, 200-mile radius from me. Worst they're going to say is no. What if you get someone to sit down with you and you run the numbers and it makes sense? And now you're operating in RCFE and you got a deal in a couple of years, you'll buy it from them. Who knows? It just takes one time.
Yeah. No, you're totally right. And it's something that hadn't occurred to me before is that could be a way in. The way you came in is a really cool way in. And really excited for folks to hear this because I just think that's such a cool approach to get your foot in the door and get started. And you're
Because
right.
one of the hardest,
A lot of these homes, for the betterment of the seniors, need to be turned over.
they do. They really do. And I know one of the hardest things as an operator is getting the cash to get a home. And or even for me, it was showing 2 years worth of income. I was 20, 21 when I became a CNA and I was working registry. So I wasn't really showing a bunch of income. So I didn't have enough income to even buy a house. And so this is a good way to get your foot in the door, make a deal, get some real estate underneath you, get some experience. And because I know cash and those costs to get a house is one of the hardest things.
And that's awesome. All right. Before we wrap it up here, let's go with, all right, silver tsunami's upon us. How do you see the industry or model evolving over the next 5 to 10 years?
Man, that's a good question. I think, as I said before, Serge and Roman, two big guys in the industry, if you don't know them, look them up. They're turning these homes into boutique homes. They're making very nice homes, 6 bed, all private baths. My buddy Serge has 12-bed homes in Arizona. They're creating these 5-star hotel feeling in these smaller homes with exceptional care. And I think if you're not going you're not going down that route, I don't think you're going to survive. I really don't. Also, with dementia peaking and Alzheimer's peaking, I can't remember the guy's name, but I watch him a lot. He's a leading expert in dementia. He says that baby boomers, by the time they retire, so my parents are in the 40s of baby boomers, by the time they retire, 1 out of 2 of them will have dementia. I think you're going to be seeing a lot more dementia homes. I think if you can have, in my town, there's not one RCFE, a residential care facility, that's dementia home based. There's not one. So that's a niche home that you can provide for these residents. And so looking into different spaces that you can provide, even hospice homes. But I really see the next 5 years seeing a lot more boutique, smaller homes and the dementia side really getting bigger.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And in the episode that precedes this, we did a little roundup and we went through a couple of news articles, and one of them was about dementia and the projections by 2050. And it's just startling
It's pretty bad.
how many more seniors are going to have as we continue to march a long time. Okay, so before we go, what's something you're working on right now that you're passionate about, Christian?
Oh man, I'm so busy at my home now. I would say it's really just that I'm so passionate on the resident care and my work. I've seen a lot of, in my opinion, miracles. I get emotional about it, but the residents that we've taken in, we've really changed their lives. And taking them in from skilled facilities, them not being able to walk, or then they're 110 pounds and now they're 160 and they're walking and they're really just changing their lives. I would say that's something I'm passionate about that I'm working on right now is just giving the best care I can. I really do have a passion for caring for people.
Dude, that's awesome. That speaks to the fulfillment piece of this niche, which is just so unlike anything else, especially on the real estate side.
Yeah.
It doesn't fulfill you to own a house and have a renter in it. There's no fulfillment there. And then I owned Airbnbs and it was like, oh, this is sexy. Like they're cool. They're new. They have these themes to them. Then you get all these crappy guests and they don't care. And this isn't fulfilling, right? This is the niche where it can be fulfilling. So you can check all of the boxes on real estate, kind of investment, piece. You could check the box on operating a business and creating a scalable business. And you could check a box on feeling fulfilled while you do it, which is just totally mind blowing. And that's why we agree with you. Like, this is the thing to be in if you're passionate about business and people at the same time.
Yeah, no, 100%.
The tailwinds are there, man. Like the boomer generation, the population over 80s is about to double, and then there's not enough assisted living. So it's going to be interesting. The coolest thing to me is that if I go out and open a dozen homes and you go out and open a dozen homes and everybody we've ever met goes out and opens a dozen homes, that would be a small fraction of what's required.
Yeah, there's still not enough beds.
Yeah. So the cool thing is we could just help each other, and we're not hurting each other. We're not in competition.
Yeah. And that's on that topic right there. Before we go, that's something to mention too. It's like when you're getting out to the community and you're looking for people to talk to, the other assisted living facilities in town, you should be talking with each other. There's enough people to be going around. And so when somebody gets a lead and, oh, all my beds are full, sorry, I'm full, you should be sending them to somebody else, and then they're going to do it right back. You should be communicating and helping each other out.
100%. 100%. Yeah, I think that's so valuable. Instead of being like, oh, that guy's my competition or that gal's my competition. No, get on the same page, be buddies, go to lunch once a week, share lessons learned, make both of your homes better, share leads. Like, why do it any other way?
Yeah, it doesn't.
Life's short. Let's not.
It doesn't make sense, you know?
And focus on value.
Yeah, we're in the care business. Come on.
Yeah. So funny because, care business here, but then it's crazy. There's some cutthroat folks out there. You'll see it in the Facebook communities. We own a big one, and you'll see there's the people that are all about sharing and giving value, and then there's the people that are very close hold and cutthroaty, and those people don't make it on our podcast. But okay. So Christian, dude, this was awesome. I loved going deep on your experience. Really excited about the future for you. I hope we can come back like in a year and just hear about how you bought all 4 homes and opened 3 more.
I'm hoping, man. I'm praying.
Yeah. If you want listeners to reach out to you, is there a best way to do that?
Yeah, you can reach out to me at innercircleservices.com or lifepastiche.com, lifepastiche.com, or at yahoo.com. Yeah, you can shoot me an email, and I would love to connect with people, share my experience, talk to them, help them out. I don't charge nothing. I love helping people, man. So
you're just the man.
Yeah.
Christian, thanks so much for joining us today. Thank you for your insights. It's been a pleasure learning from your experience.
Yeah, thanks, Charlie. I appreciate it.
Thank you for tuning in to the RAL Room Assisted Living Podcast. We hope you found today's episode insightful. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave us a raving 5-star review. And a quick review helps more listeners find the show and more seniors get the exceptional care they deserve.
And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. And just so you know, we have prepared some free resources for you to help you succeed in residential assisted living in addition to this podcast. Head over to theralroom.com, that is the RAL room.com, to download our free 10-step guide to launch your first or next residential assisted living home, or our 10 reasons to passively invest in residential assisted living ebooks.
And if you're ready to take the next step and make real moves in the RAL industry, join us in the RAL Room Mastermind. It is an exclusive community where we deep dive into everything you need to launch and grow your own residential assisted living business. You'll get access to recorded courses, live calls with industry experts, a RAL calculator, resources and tools, like-minded entrepreneurs, funding opportunities, and an expert networking community to help you along your journey.
Be sure to join us next time on the RAL Room Podcast as we continue to explore the world of residential assisted living with more great guests. See you then.